Hello, investors. This is Ted Zhang, Associate Portfolio Manager with Revere Asset Management. Today is Wednesday, October 23rd, 4:26 p.m., coming to you from Fort Lauderdale with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. State of the market, we're still in the uptrend. We currently still have all four bullish up arrows, but we did flag the small caps and the mid caps, potentially shifting to neutral with their continued weak action. Market leaders continue to act well, even though many pulled back today. But taking a step back, their charts are still perfectly fine. And we'll go over the 21 over 21 list later and some of the top stocks that I'm watching as well. So today, key day providing a line in the sand, and we'll definitely go over that when we review the indexes. 21 over 21 list down 1.19%, four up, three sideways, 14 down. Big eight down 2.1%, RG8 down 1.32%, S&P 500 down 0.96%, RSP down 0.32%, Qs down 1.53%, equal weighted QQEW down 0.98%. So you see that the equal weighted indexes did trade better today. That's primarily because of the big eight trading much weaker. And we'll go over some of those names as well. The Dow down 0.94%, mid caps down 0.62%, small caps down 0.91%, and 60/40 down 0.60%. And then GROTECTION was down about 1.31%. So jumping into the S&P 500, we'll go on a 5-minute chart to start. We gapped down, could barely rally, and pretty much didn't rally at all. And it was a trend down day. At 220, we did find some support and had a decent close, almost mid-range. The positive note is that we did hold this previous shelf's high as well as the 21 EMA. And that's what I was talking about. There's a line in the sand day today. Today's lows will be extremely key because if we take out today's lows, we're taking out the 21 EMA and likely taking out that previous breakout level. RSP traded better, actually closed above the 21 EMA today. Still a distribution day, but we're looking at this 176.41 area as support, and also the 50-day is rapidly rising as well. Qs, same action, pretty much sold off all day. Saw a bit of a bounce into the close and trading right on top of the 21 EMA actually. The good news is it held its 485.54 level, but today's still a distribution day, and we're definitely watching that carefully. October 15th was another one, and same with October 1st. So there's starting to be a cluster of distribution days. The key is to see if this is just a one-off day or if we start seeing follow through. We do have the 50-day rapidly rising as well in the Qs, and that could sooner or later pull up to that 485.54 level. Equal weighted Qs closed below the 21 EMA and still trading above the 50-day and this support area of 10-1 lows at 123.17. So far, it is a failed breakout, so we don't want to see this turn into complete breakdown. This could easily tighten back up, maybe if we get a day like that, and then retry for new highs. Dow Jones closed right below the 21 EMA, distribution day as well. But as you can see, you still have an upper trend line-ish like that. And then this 41,800 area is key, this range right here, which we found support on. Mid caps so far failed breakout as well. Back into the base. Go on a weekly chart. You can see that's a failed breakout, all-time high so far. Back in the base. And often from failed moves can come fast moves. So it's really key to monitor this and see if we catch some support, maybe at this 3,000 level, maybe at the 50-day moving average. And this could potentially get tight again and attempt to build out like that. Small caps didn't even break out above 2,300. This could be the last iteration of a VCP in this base. As you can see, you had one contraction here, two, three, maybe this is the fourth. We are finding some support at 2,200 and the 50-day moving average. So maybe we start trading up higher like this and then set up for 2,300. The VIX, we spiked above 20 but closed below, so that's a good sign. We do want to see the VIX get down to see some volatility alleviate out of the markets. But we are pretty much within 2 weeks of the election, and typically volatility stays elevated with uncertainty of who is going to win. The dollar continues to be strong. It is getting quite extended. This is finally putting some headwinds into equities. So maybe if this cools off, rejects 105 area, and reverts to the mean, that could become a tailwind for equities, especially if rates and the dollar retreat off their current levels. With the dollar strong, gold finally took a hit, but still trading above the 8 EMA. It is a distribution day, but above the 8, so nothing too much to worry about. Gold miners still well above the 8 EMA. Just a 1-day pullback after like 8 days up in a row. So nothing too much to be worried about there. Silver, 3 strong up days on high volume. Today we had a gap down, but still above the 8 EMA. Of course, this 30 level, as well as 29.56, the previous base highs, is key, as well as the 8 EMA here. Bitcoin, let's go to the actual Bitcoin chart. We traded all the way to 65,000, which held, and now we're actually about to reclaim 66,500. And this shakeout looks amazing as part of this potential handle that is building on the right side of the space. And as I talked about, the quarterly looks great. We can go to that real quick. We have an inside quarter on the monthly. We broke out of this couple months highs. We rejected the downward trend line so far. And then on the weekly, we're finishing the right side of the space under 70,000. And the 70,000 level is last quarter's highs, so that would be key. And the daily still looks like it needs a bit more time, but the shakeout is definitely constructive on this right side. And then bonds continue to sell off as yields rise with the fear of inflation. Government is running huge deficits. People believe that regardless of which candidate gets in office, they're going to be inflationary, whether running a larger deficit or the Trump tariffs. And yields, 30-year continues to rise, and same with the 10-year. That is definitely providing a headwind for equities now. So to the tail of the tape, like I talked about, VIX spiked above 20 but closed below at 19.31. CNN fear and greed retreated to 63, down 7, and we're still in greed territory. After hours, actually, before that, bull case, we're still above the 21 EMA, and we held today. So we're still operating the bull case, and that's pretty much our line in the sand, which is today's lows, and provides this clear line in the sand. In news, Tesla had its earnings after hours, and they came in strong, and it's actually up about 6% after hours last time I checked. Revenues came at 25.18 billion versus 25.43 billion, so missed a bit there. But their earnings per share came in stronger than expected, 72 cents versus 60 cents. And they said they expect slight growth in vehicle deliveries in 2024. Their free cash flow also came in stronger than expected, 2.47 billion versus the estimated 1.61 billion. Today's keys, we're looking at the S&P range support 5810 to 5820, which we broke. Same with Q support 490, which we broke, and then long-term rates continue heading higher. Day count, we went from consolidation of 7 days to now down 1. We're first day down below the 8 EMA. We're still 30 days above the 21 EMA, and expectations are positive. Again, the action I talked about it, we gapped down, that put in the highs. We trended lower to 57.62, which put in the lows of the day. Then we trended back up, rejected 5,800, and then closed relatively strong. All right, so some strong sectors. Of course, bond yields and dollar was up, bond prices down. Real estate, utilities, and aerospace and defense were up. Discretionary tech, energy were down. Uranium was down, and gold, silver, and metals as well. Today, we added to VRT after our sells or trims of yesterday's earnings. VRT had originally strong action, but it retreated. We'll take a look at the chart after this. And we also bought some CCJ to get into the uranium nuclear theme. Bottom line is key day providing a line in the sand. In tomorrow's keys, we're looking at S&P range support at 5770. In the previous range support, 5810 to 5820. We'll see if it acts as resistance. QQQ support is at 485, which we held today. And we're all, of course, we'll watch 490 as resistance. We're still looking at long-term rates. So we'll jump into the VRT. Held a 21 EMA, and as it reclaimed that left side peak, that's why we made a buy. We actually made higher highs, but we ended up closing weak on huge volume as well. So we have to monitor that buy. CCJ pull back to this gap day's low, and that's where we used intraday pullback buy to start a position in there as well. Some charts of interest, pretty much the same as yesterday. I'll go over 5 mega caps. That was on my charts of interest. NVIDIA back below 140.76. After seeing it go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, some back and fill action is definitely reasonable. Maybe back to 21 EMA, continue to build out this base, and then we try to retake highs. Apple can't take out the highs into all-time highs, back to the 21 EMA. But this shakeout definitely makes the right side of the base look even more constructive. Microsoft tried to push higher, but closed weak, still within yesterday's candles. This looks good. Amazon collapsing, tried poking its head out, screw bar breaking that pivot lows. Meta, same thing, poked its head out back above the 8 and 21, just a screw bar distribution day down below the 8 and 21. The 50-day and this base highs look like it's next. Same with the 10-week, which is right here at 552.9. MicroStrategies tried pushing higher, then shook out back to the 8 EMA, found support and closed midday. This still looks great as it's building out this flag. Maybe another few days meandering about here, and then this could look for higher as a high handle in this big base. In IBIT Bitcoin, we talked about it. I want to see this get back above 37.94. These lows, this gap low, is what I'm looking at, which coincides with the 21 EMA. We actually found support above that, so still healthy action there. And so Tesla is currently up now 8% at 231. So we're gapping actually above all key moving averages. And we're actually going to fill this gap potentially, but I'm not really interested until above 270. And we'll go on the weekly level. That is the level that I'm interested in for Tesla. Below that, pretty disinterested. 20 over 21 list. Let's go over the names that were up today. IoT found support the 50-day, and that was up. Coherent found support the 21 EMA. Sprout Farmers Market, just insane action. Another new all-time high above the 8 EMA. Look at this trend. Just model. Just the model book. Kava also trending above the 8 EMA, making a new all-time high as well. Shark Ninja also trending along the 8 EMA, making a new high, squatting so far back into the range. So you can see still definitely names acting well. We'll go to the downside. STX gap down on earnings below the 821 and 50. That's earnings induced. So of course this will likely be taken off the list next week. VRT earnings volatility as well, but still a decent close given how extended this chart is. And actually some sideways chop would potentially set this up for a better move higher. We always want handles because that shakes out weak holders. NVIDIA still above the 8 EMA, so that's good to see that our third biggest down name is still above the 8 EMA, and it's NVIDIA. I do want to see this get back over this horizontal line though. SMR retreated back to this previous high here, building a nice flag. If you want a 60-minute, we can see that flag much better, or declining trend line. I'd say above 1855, but more so taking out this high volume close of 1907 is key for me. MSTR, we talked about this. I want to see this flag handle, build a high handle above 200. Don't want to see us breach 200 again and continue higher. IBIT, we talked about. Axon continues to trend above the 8 EMA. And when the top down names are acting well in our 21 over 21 list and not breaking the 21 or 50 or completely collapsing, that's a really good sign for the market. So leaders are definitely still acting well, which is why we have that green up arrow. And so, as always, that's going to wrap it for today. Definitely interesting day. Not really news or a catalyst induced gap down, and we just steadily sold all day. primarily from mega cap tech. Equal weight indexes traded better, and we actually had decent closes above support. So line in the sand day, and yeah, that's gonna wrap it. And as always, we would love to hear from you. My email is ted@revereasset.com, and then you can reach out to Dan and Don at revereasset.com. Our phone is 855 Real Wealth. That is 855-732-5932. Our website is Revere Asset Management, and our YouTube channel is Revere Asset. If you're interested in becoming a client, please reach out. And with that said, I'll wrap it up for today. Today's Wednesday, October 23rd. This is Ted Zhang with Revere Asset Management, telling it like it is. Thank you for listening and have a great rest of your week.